What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in. We're talking about breaking through plateaus, right? So what is a plateau? First off, before we go into this topic, basically any time that your progress stalls, slows down, so you're no longer making the gains that you hope to make. All right, so first things first, let's just be realistic about this topic, right? So there's diminishing marginal returns. This is a simple idea from economics that's applicable to a lot of other fields, right? And so this simply means that for every additional unit of time, of effort that you put in towards your pursuit, you don't get as much benefit out of it as you do from those initial units of effort, of time, etc., right? So you've been training for 5 years, it's a lot harder to put on muscle than it was those first 3 months when you were training. That's just the nature of the beast, and there's nothing really you can do about it. So make sure your plateau is not simply, the fact that you're hoping to make those noob gains forever. It's just not gonna happen if you're natty. So let's say that's not the case, and maybe you have a new pursuit. Maybe you're trying to get leaner, maybe you're trying to increase your bench press, maybe you're trying to do whatever your specific goal is. For some reason, your progress is stalled. So what you need to do is first take a step back, right? You need to say, hold up, I need to be objective about this, because you're emotionally invested in your goal. Whatever that goal is, you really want it to happen. And sometimes when you're so sort of involved in that, it's hard to be objective with yourself, right? So do the best you can, take a step back, and then ask yourself, are you applying the appropriate principles to reach your goal, right? That's really the first thing, sort of like on a general big scheme of things. So for training, for example, what's the most important aspect of your training? Consistency, right? Like, are you being consistent? If you're not showing up at the gym and going to your training sessions like you're supposed to, if you're trying to get, super shredded and you're not adhering to your diet goals, then, that's clearly what's going on. That's the most important thing when it comes to any of these, consistency, right? So then after that, like, let's say we're talking about training. Something you might want to consider is, how is your specificity? Are you applying progressive overload? Are you recovering adequately? Does your nutrition match your training? You kind of just go back to these very simple concepts and ask yourself, are you applying these principles correctly? And is there any room for improvement? Okay, so this applies for both diet and exercise, and really those two go hand in hand. Now, what you can do aside from this, of course, is you could always seek out friends. Seek out somebody else to say, hey, listen, can you take a look at this? Be cautious, though, of asking your training partner why you're not making gains in the gym, because just like you, your training partner is emotionally invested in this pursuit. This is where it comes in. Sometimes it's beneficial to get the assistance of an outside party, right? This is like, you talk to somebody who's got a lot more experience than you do with, say, coaching athletes or something along those lines. That way you get not just an outsider perspective, but also sort of an expert perspective, right? I do this myself on the website, thestrengthdoc.com. One of the services that I offer are consultations. And this is not a plug for everybody to go to the website and sign up for consultations, because I'm in the middle of a move right now and I really don't have time to be helping out a lot of more people than I already am. But just something to think about is, this is like extra help when you go to school. And that's to say, when you go to extra help and you're in like high school and you need help with some algebra stuff, you don't just show up to the teacher and say, help me. I can't do this. That's not how it works. What you need to do is you need to go to this coach, go to this expert, go to whoever you seek out and say, listen, this is where I'm at, this is what I've done, this is what's worked for me in the past. You need to provide them with as much information as possible so that way they can help you, right? Sometimes when people, get in touch with me for consultations, they're just like, they leave me a blank slate, and it's not really helpful for them, because you want a response that's targeted, that's unique to you, the individual. Everybody, there are these principles that apply to everyone, but they're also sort of individual differences that are relevant. And that's where a coach can come in and help you with those specific details, help you be objective and look into those sorts of things. So just to sum it up, basically, number one, make sure that you're not confusing your plateau for just simple diminishing marginal returns. That's just the nature of the beast, when it comes to long-term progress. After that, take a step back, look, be objective, and look, are you applying the principles correctly? Is there room for improvement? And then lastly, if all else fails, seek someone who knows what they're doing. Seek an expert. You know, you don't need to necessarily hire like a coach. A lot of people offer like consultations. You know, a lot of people come to me with issues, and they don't need to spend hundreds of dollars for coaching over a long period of time. Sometimes it's super simple. I can resolve the problem in 15 minutes. It's not necessarily something that's going to cost you a lot of time and or money. But if you're not making progress and you've tried all these other things, sometimes it's worth it to seek that stuff out. So that's the video, guys. Do me a favor. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.